I could share my testimony, I don't know, to probably answer some of your questions as
Oh.
to how I got to where I am, because I was like you. That's why I can say that it's doable, right? So when I was 17 years old in 1988, a senior in high school, my mother was murdered by the man that raised me,
Mm.
right? Now, people would say, people get murdered all the time. I'm my only child. It always was me and my mother. My mother was my best friend. She was my everything. My dad wasn't in my life, but he was around, if that makes sense. But this man bought me my first bike, my first color TV, taught me how to ride the bike. He did all of those things, for me in
Yeah.
my life. But at 17, my mother and him had decided that, they won't go their separate ways. And he did not take it too well, followed her for 3 weeks to find out where we had moved. And once he found out where she lived, he got in the building, right? And he broke in her apartment and sat and waited for her to get off from work. They tussled. He stabbed my mother. Right? He put everything that he ever touched, like he burned her with cigarettes. He tortured her little body. And he then put her in the bed and set her on fire and left the house. No, he stayed in all night. Let me go back to that. He stayed in all night. Everything that he touched, he's stuffed it inside my mom. He did all of that. Put her in the bed and set the bed on fire. Stayed all night. Right? Walked across the street. And this was the time when we still had payphones. Called the fire department and the police and waited for them to leave. Right? Horrible. I'm an only kid, right? How do you get over that?
Whew.
Only by the grace of God, when God got a purpose. Because at 17, Jen, I wasn't saved. Right? I didn't have a relationship, but it goes to show you that when God has a plan and a purpose for your life, we don't get to say how it's manifested. He does that, right? He orders the
last quarter of the year.
Come on.
Life is short. If you need to give somebody a ring, you know what? I'm sorry. And sometimes if I did anything to offend you, because I just feel like something shifted and changed, I want us to talk about it. I want us to process through whatever that is.
And listen to this. Think about this. God always deals with me in illustration. You just said we're in the last quarter. In the last quarter of any game, whether it be basketball, football, or whatever, if you're in the last quarter, what you're trying to do is correct whatever you did not do in the first 3 quarters.
Come on.
Right? So whatever plays you didn't make, or you messed up, or you wasn't certain about, you're in your last quarter. This is either win or lose. So you either going to forgive and forget, or you going to miss out on eternity, right? So that's that last quarter thing just jumped in my spirit.
I like that.
That thing. So think about that. And we have to be game changers. Let me say that. We had to be game changers. Michael Jordan was a game changer. They could be down 30 points. He could be on the bench. The minute they put him in the game, he changed the whole game. So we have to be game changers. We don't need to be bench warmers. We don't need to be cheerleaders. We need to be the player that's in the game making the plays.
And friends, when it comes to our lives, we are the player.
Come on.
So if you're not on that court, if you're not on that field, if you're not on the ice,
come on.
We done touch all sports. If you're not on the court,
nobody's fault but your own.
You're losing.
You can't blame nobody else.
You can't blame nobody else because you already gave up. You already defeated yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta at least get out and give a try.
Yeah, because listen, we're all sitting on the sideline. Everybody gonna get a chance to go in. It's what you gonna do when you get in.
That's it.
Yeah.
Every time you go to the court to play basketball, after you know it, somebody else is coming over like, hey, come on, let's go 1-on-1. Somebody else is making a team. When you get out there, support comes. You win some, you lose some, but you learn in the process.
Yes, yes, yes. Lose. So you either gonna forgive and forget, or you gonna miss out on eternity, right? So that's that last quarter thing just jumped in my spirit.
I
You
like
just
that.
messed me up with that thing. So that think about that. And we have to be game changers. Let me say
Mm-hmm.
that. We had to be game changers. Michael Jordan was a game changer. They could be down 30 points. He could be on the bench. The minute they put him in the game, he changed the whole
Yes.
game. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to be game changers. We don't need to be bench warmers. We don't need to be cheerleaders. We
Mm-hmm.
need to be the player that's in the game.